So today we have a very serious problem. No, all kidding aside, we have a really serious problem. I'm gonna need Jake and probably Jamie to help with this. Guys, as much as we try to cut the strings off of our rolls of hay, I wanna show you what's happened here. Every time we set a roll of hay out, we come by and we cut the strings off of them. But Tex still tries to find any piece of string he can, and I want to show you what's happened here. Now I'm having a hard time getting over right now because everyone's following me, so I'm going to need Jake to help. Look though, Tex has gotten string wrapped around his horn, up along his nose. The good news is it's not tight around his neck, so I'm not fearing any kind of strangulation, but that cannot stay like that. That's not a big piece of, man, Tex, that's not a real long piece. You can tell it's already been cut and frayed. So here's what happens. Let me show you what's going on, and then we'll get to our, we'll call the rescue. So when we set, I know, we're going to address that. We're going to address that momentarily. We set our hay into that spot right there. We always come by and cut the strings. We cut the strings at the top, along the sides, but the problem is you can't get those strings out from the bottom. And whenever the hay gets that low, he starts churning it around like he's tossing a salad, and sometimes his horns will pick up a piece of that string, and at that point he just begins to wind his face. He winds it around and around his face. Hey Jake, walk over here real fast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to run all of the horses and the donkeys out back. We got a real big problem. Come over here. So we're gonna take all of the cows and the other horses, donkeys, take them all out back. So we'll only have Tex here by himself. And then we're going to have to try to feed him. We'll find a way to cut that off. Look at Tex. Yeah, this has always been a problem, Jake. We've always had this problem, never quite this bad. So I'm gonna take all the animals back. If you'll find me a broomstick and then get some duct tape and attach a box cutter to the end of it. Like I can have like a kind of where I can raise it up. Okay. And then we're gonna feed him in a trough, and I'll walk up as close as I can and just try to nip around his horn area so as not to cut his face. Alrighty? So the first thing that we have to do is take all of these guys and put them out back so they stay out of our way. What we don't want to have is all of this riffraff running around while we're trying to work with Tex. Excuse me, buddy, excuse me, you know, this is a part of our daily routine. They always act like it's a new day, so the rules change. And the rules never change. Hey, come here. Come here. Whoa, come here. Come here. Come here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at this. I want to look at your head. Come here. Come here. Let me pour some feed out because he has a scratch across his forehead that was not there yesterday. Ouch. Oh my goodness. He has a big scratch across his forehead that was not there yesterday. And the reason I know that is because the farrier, I'm coming through. No! Guys, you're messing everything. Okay, I'm lucky the gate does open back. Move. You know, I love these guys, but sometimes sometimes things like this can get a little bit annoying. But here's what you have to do. It's on days like this, if you're not careful, you'll end up getting yourself hurt. Because see, they don't realize, they're just excited. These guys are just excited. They don't realize that you're having a stressful morning. See the ears back? So you have to be real careful that you don't end up letting someone get you hurt. Beverly, now see, she kicks. She kicks really bad. Back up, love. And if you don't already know, donkeys can kick sideways. You got to be real careful with donkeys. This is the most dangerous thing right here because I'm in a corner and I have nowhere to back up to. They'll start playing because they all want to get the first bite. So I have to be very careful here. I'm going to set it down and drop a little bit off right there. Did y'all see that? So the more piles you put down, the safer it becomes, because now they have a little bit of chance to spread out a little bit. Once they spread themselves out, it's not near as dangerous. I tell you what, we have come so close to getting kicked in the face. People that work with horses, especially donkeys, they know there's always a risk potential. And so you learn that over time. It's scary when you have people who say they love horses because they've seen calendars and they've seen some TV shows and a movie, yet they really have not had a chance to experience horses in first person. And those are the folks who, as much as you love to be able to share your blessings of having animals, those are the most dangerous people to have around the farm. Because, like I say, they only see the animals with the little love goggles, and they don't realize what a threat they can be. Okay, so all of these guys have something to nibble on, a little breakfast to kickstart their day. We're going to go up and see if we can work with Tex. All right, so what I've done is I've parked my side-by-side here in the lane that goes down towards the back. When we start messing with Tex, it may be where he gets a little bit worked up. You can tell the string is bothering him, and he's not able to move the way he, with as much flexibility or as maneuverable as he normally is. We have to be real careful with this. I'm going to show Jake a little secret we're going to try that may help us along a little bit. The good news is we only need to make one cut. If you can notice right there, there's only really one cut that goes around his face. That worries me. And I believe it's actually up in his mouth. And so we really have to get that piece out. I don't think there's a risk of him swallowing anything because it's wrapped around his horns pretty good. He's hungry and it's normally time for his breakfast. So we're gonna try to stay true to our routine best we can. Hey, Jacob. So what we're gonna do, folks, is you're gonna have to bear with me for a little bit, and we're gonna try to get him up into the chute. I say chute, it's not a chute at all. So how's that coming along?
All right, we're done.
Okay, let's not rile him up. I have an idea we're gonna try that might help us a little bit.
Okay.
All right, look over here. So what we're gonna try to do, Jake, is, now this is not a chute. This is not a chute. And so it was never built to be a chute. What it is we have a double gate here for whenever we unload animals. We can sometimes back our trailer up over to here and unload them. What we're gonna do, Jake, is close this gate over here, this front gate.
Okay.
And we're gonna put the feed over into here. Texas feed will be over here, all right? Now what's gonna happen is, if we're lucky, Moo will come in first, and that will make Tex feel like it's safe to come in. Tex will get upset with Moo. He'll come right up behind him and walk in here with them. Mm-hmm. That will run Moo out. Whenever Moo runs out, we have to be ready with the tractor and a roll of hay. And we're going to push that roll of hay right here behind this gate as soon as I close it.
Okay.
Because if we don't, he'll push himself. He'll push right through this gate.
Right.
If we put that roll of hay, I'll close the gate. We'll put the roll of hay here, and he will not come forward, or he cannot come backwards, okay?
Okay, make another one.
Let's see the pole you have now. Hey Jake, before we do that, let's just try to see if we can do it here in the open pasture if he'll let us. Let's go ahead and get some feed. I'm going to go ahead and close that one gate so Moot can't come in here with us. And get me a bucket of the good horse feed, Jake. You know what? I'll tell you what. Not horse feed. Get some of that alpaca, that green feed. That's the really good stuff. So I'm actually happy that Jake's here. You know, there's no secret that Lester's getting older. I'm getting older. What can I say? I'm getting older. And it's very likely that I won't be around forever to do stuff like this. And so even though you don't want the kids ever putting themselves in harm's way, sometimes farm work requires that you do such. And so it's good that Jake is here to watch this and be a part of it, even though we don't want it to ever. Let's turn around and see what's going on. Close that gate there. And if you'll hand me the tool, you want to take your camera on a tripod? Or you want to hold my camera?
No, I'll hold yours.
You're just going to hold mine?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he's a little bit more comfy with me. We've done this a couple of times before. Come on, Tex. Thing is, I actually think he knows what's happening. So just don't be too close, Jake, because we don't want to startle him and spook him. You might want to back up a little bit more. And so what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the blade. I want to make sure I cut down and not up. What I don't want to do is hurt his eye. I'm going to get down a little bit lower where I'm not quite as obtrusive and imposing. You know what we have to do, buddy. You know we have to do this.
I just don't know how it got so twisted and twisted and twisted.
He plays. That's like a game he plays. We've seen this a few times before. The worst he's ever had it, though, was he wrapped a little piece around one horn, under his neck, and around the other horn.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was pulling that little sheepy area way up tight. And that scared me. You know we have to do this. Come over here on my side with me, Jake, so at least he'll feel like he... No, come around the front. So at least he knows he has a way to flight, so he doesn't try to fight. Have you ever heard of fight or flight?
Fight or flight, yeah.
So most animals, and you know, most animals that are not predator type animals, and a bull's not a predator, they want to have an option to fly if they have to. And so when we're on both sides of them, that makes him a little bit more nervous. If we give him an option to walk away, that would always be safer for us, so he doesn't feel like he has to choose one or the other to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Tex, I know you have to eat. You know you're hungry, and we have to get this string off him around your neck. So what I want to do, my biggest worry is that one that comes across the front of his nose right there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cut this, even though we only have the blade opened a little bit, I don't want to cut his eye. I do not want to cut his eye. I don't want to cut, so I'm going to try to cut up around the horn, which won't hurt him anyway. All right, so he's going to choose not to eat instead of having to deal with you and me right now. I parked my side-by-side so he can't leave out of this little corral. And if he's not going to let me work with him, I'm going to try to get the other kind of feed just in case. You can go ahead and stop that right now if you want to. All right, so we tried one kind of feed that we thought he was more into, but we're going to go ahead and go with the one that's made for him. Maybe that can get him to come on over, and once he starts eating. So I'm needing help with this rescue, but instead I got Jake over there trying to talk to the mail lady. Yeah, so much for me and my rescue operation. Tex is actually in a really nice spot right here, except I have to deal with all of this. Hey, just doing a rescue operation here. Don't worry about me. Yeah, just doing an operation here, a rescue operation. And I have no help because that's the paid help over there trying to holler at the mail lady. And that's pitiful. But I'll tell you what I think. I think that Tex is more comfortable with just Daddy than Jake anyway. Let me go ahead and take an opportunity here to take a swipe at this, if I can. Tex, don't leave. It's just Daddy. I have to help you. It's just Daddy, Tex. Just Daddy. Boy. Here you go. Just come back behind me and take the camera again. He was almost there. I just needed 2 hands. Back, get back. I can tell he's a little bit more skittish around you than he is with just me. Okay. So do you see what I just now did?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the good news is I've cut those above the horn. So now those can fall. And so the reason I cut right there is because the horn doesn't have any kind of, you know, obviously you cut the horn, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So if you zoom in right here, those 2 have been cut right above the horn. And
Okay,
I was hoping that would have put instant slack on that one around his neck. And it didn't. So what I'm gonna try to do now is kind of come up this way and see if I can get this one that goes right down around it by his face. Okay.
Okay.
So that's been sliced. So we're getting there, Jake. You might want to come over on this side and see what I've done so far. Isn't it sweet the way he knows this has to be done?
Yeah, he's not moving. Well, now he is.
We've got a lot done. It's starting to bother him a little bit. You see how loose it is now, though?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of slack. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'll stop. It's kind of like whenever I go to the doctor and he has to put a cortisone in my knees.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No.
You're still young. Sometimes I go to the doctor for my cortisone I get cortisone shots in my knees every 3 months. And there's about 4 needles. He'll do one and I'll grimace. He'll do the other one. He'll go, okay, I'll stop. I'm like, okay. That's what Tex is doing right now. He's like, Dad, I'll just stop. You're making me nervous.
Yeah, or I guess it's like whenever you get a splinter when you're a kid and your mom's like, it'll take 1 second, and then you're laying there for 5 minutes just screaming.
Or pulling a tooth.
Yeah.
Your parents like, okay, I'll wait. Not really, Pete.
Yeah, boom. 1, 2.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be on 3.
So the more comfy he becomes with somebody, the closer he'll let you get. Right now, he's just not real sure. But if you notice, Justin, is it off of his mouth now?
It's off of his nose.
So that's a big win for us, Jake, because that was kind of, actually it kind of does go inside of his mouth. I hope he hasn't swallowed any of it. Yeah, there have been cows who've ingested string enough to where it's caused a blockage. So what I sometimes try to do is get on the side where the horn blocks me from his eyesight, which is more over here. And so whenever the horn blocks me, I can kind of get a little bit closer. Not that close, though.
No, don't come at me. Use your flight the other way.
Tex, we have to help you, buddy. There.
All right. Nice.
High five, Jake, on video. So, all right, so Jake is going to go down and put another roll out now. He'll have to do one for the bigs and for look at Moo over there eating the very last of that.
Yeah. So I better get it while I can.
Moo's like, can I get some of that grain? But this happens sometimes. So tell everybody, let me video you. Just tell everyone what you do so that we can try to prevent this.
Well, whenever we take down the hay, we always go cut the string off. We kind of fold it back and we try to cut it like as close to the bottom as we can, but a lot of times you can't, you know, there's a surface area where the hay's on the ground. You can't get all the way underneath.
So here's an example.
Get it all.
Right over there, see that pole, that column?
Yeah.
I see a little bit on column. And so what Tex does is he finds that. And just a part of his bull playfulness is he starts trying to wrap that stuff around him because it's funny and it's cute. It's like playing dress up, I guess. I don't know. Is that how dress up feels? I don't know. I don't do dress up.
I've never played dress up.
Jake!
I never have. For that time you made me marry Carl out here.
Yeah. They don't know about that game.